As an ESP trainer by Dr. Russell Targ from the Standford Research Institute, still around, so he's the remote viewing dude from the 70s. This is a program he used with Werner von Braun from NASA, the guy who came out of World War II Germany. It's interesting, Werner von Braun was actually going to be tried for war crimes because they were using, he was making the V2 bombs that were flying into London, and they were using Jewish slaves to make the bombs in underground factories in Germany. But the Allies realised that a lot of these German scientists survived, and they were absolutely at the forefront of modern technology. And they shouldn't be tried for war crimes, they should be forgiven and moved to the United States. And they moved hundreds of scientists through an operation called Operation Paperclip. And they moved all these guys in and gave them great jobs and lifestyles and everything like that, including him, and he was the kind of responsible for a lot of the development of the American space program. And he used this and he got a really high score. It wasn't on an iPhone at the time, but they used a similar thing, a very old random number generator. So this is interesting in the sense that you choose between 4 options, and if you get it right, it shows you a little picture. So you've always got a 25% chance of getting it right. And you get 24 trials, so statistically you always get around 6 average. But often you get a lot more, because when you get it wrong, it shows you which one it was. Okay? So when you get it right, it's basically our knowledge of the correct answer in the future travelling back to us if we're sensitive enough and telling us the right answer, because the right answer in the future is accessible in the present. This is called non-linear dynamics, where we're sending information to ourselves, just like Emancipator back there. Fun stuff.
What's it called?
It's called ESP Trainer on your apps. ESP Trainer. You'll get a way higher score if you meditate first, or do Qigong first, or just wake up at 5 a.m. and just go. The clearer your mind is, the better your score you'll do. So the more analytical you are, the more beta brainwave you are, the lower score you'll get, because you're trying to think about it, you're not feeling it. Because you've got to feel your knowing of the right answer in the future coming back to you. It's not about trying real hard, it's totally wacky stuff. Kinesiology is another place where we get some pretty mystical kind of elements meeting with scientific elements. So there's a really good guy called Dr. David Hawkins. He's got a great book called Power versus Force, and it's about the long-term development of kinesiology. Does anyone want to share what kinesiology is?
It's the body's ability to discern whether something's beneficial to it or not.
Bang on. Our bodies know what is good, what is not, and this can be extended into all other data. You can ask the body about the stock market, about politics, what's under that mat, whatever. You know, it's an amazing thing, but the basis they realise is there is a synaptic electronic response in the body when you ask it a question about if something is good for the body or not. So the basic response, you know, if someone puts their arm out like this and they hold some aspartame in this hand over their heart and you push their arm down, it'll just go down. Aspartame's fake sugar, it's nasty shit. Should never have even been passed by the FDA, it's all corrupt sort of system. Don't drink Diet Coke. And if someone asks you for a Diet Coke, just stare at them blankly.
Do you know, the Gulf War syndrome, they took 15 years to work out what it was. And it was
Diet Coke left in the sun?
Sorry?
Diet Coke left in the sun.
Yeah,
so same happened in Vietnam. They were leaving crates of Diet Coke in the sun, and after a certain high temperature in the desert or in Vietnam where it's hot, the aspartame would change to another chemical, something similar to formaldehyde. The troops would drink it, and
so I was drinking 3 or 4 a day because it was for free.
the other thing as well with aspartame is it's highly addictive. If you drink 4 or 5 Diet Cokes a day, and you go to a detox retreat, and you tell them, they won't let you in. It can nearly kill you when you come off a cold turkey. Aspartame is very, very, very addictive. The other thing that can kill you when you come off cold turkey is Valium. Heroin, no worries. Opium, no worries. Meth, no worries. All these sorts of things. You know, if you're addicted to watching The Wiggles, you can come off cold turkey, no worries. However, Valium and potentially aspartame can kill you. So be mindful of that. And it's anyway, we're changing there. It's a different subject. So you're holding that there, and then you might hold something here, which is like a little bit of like a peach or a watermelon or something like that. And they'll test your body response again, and you'll test firm. And the muscle they use here is the anterior deltoid. You got 3 deltoids: anterior, middle deltoid, posterior deltoid. Okay, I use this one. It's pretty easy because you can just put the arm on an angle on a table when someone's lying down, or do this one here. So a synapse in the body is on or off. It's an electronic connection. It fires or it doesn't fire. You know, it's like, you know, base to a computer, and a computer 0 or 1, on or off. And it's really, really an interesting thing. And they've just done so much research all over the planet, realizing that basically you can ask the body anything. So a lot of practitioners and therapists use this. Well, what's the issue you want to look at? Was it prior to the age of 5, after the age of 5? Was it prior to the age of 6, after the age of 6? Was the age of 6? Yes. You can just test on the arm. Cool, let's go there. There's all these different things you can use. People use it on themselves. I met a doctor in Bangkok last year who does full blood work diagnosis by muscle testing himself. He does a little one where he moves his fingers apart, and if it anchors, it's a yes, and it releases, it's a no. And he would sit there and he'll go through all the blood work of all the minerals, everything like that, just by thinking about a person. Before that, he used to have to get an exam, you know. There's all these development with it. You get some of that person's hair or something like that, voodoo shit, and he would have that sort of their saliva or something like that, and you need to focus on them, let's say have a part of them, or have some of their blood. Then you realise that you could just focus on that person. No, all the blood work's done. Take it to the naturopath, whatever you want to do. So, again, this is this kind of mystical realm of really focusing on another person, is getting all this information. So we realise that kinesiology works like he's doing blood work for someone else, not for himself. But then we can do the blood work by muscle testing that person too. So it's a whole nother realm of amazing stuff. Core body consciousness kinesiology is essentially something we can all do with ourselves. And we're talking about a synaptic response in the body when we ask it a question. It's a yes or no. And the thing is, when you become sensitive enough and mess around with this concept, is you can actually feel a yes or feel a no. Some people go to the supermarket and they'll muscle test themselves. No, we're walking around. Should I eat bananas today, or should I eat watermelon? And yeah, strong for bananas. They're asking the body what nutritionally it needs, and that's awesome. I know people who have been taught this as kids with eating. You know, it's just a normal thing for them, just to basically tune into their body consciousness. However, what we can call core body consciousness kinesiology goes beyond muscle testing. It just goes into feeling. And you might go into like the supermarket, and you might go into the fruit and veg section of the supermarket, and you just walk through the whole thing going, no, you know, and then you walk out. And then you and then you walk into an organic store and be like, yeah. And your body's going, yep. And then your body might be like, no. And there might be something which is out of season, which is a bit dodgy, or something like that you shouldn't eat, or something you might be allergic to. And you can start to focus on things. It's really good to do this with nutrition, situations, people, and you'll get a yes or a no. And this is your body kinesiology, basically just going, yeah, that's cool, that's not cool. So you might have 2 different brands of apples, and you'd be like, that one. Don't think about it, don't analyze, because your body consciousness is going to be like, boom. So you can start to use this to make decisions around nutrition in your life. What do I want to eat today? Your body's going to be like, I want to eat, bananas. I want to eat, celery, whatever. And it's an amazing, amazing thing. And it's a sensitivity thing. If you become very numb and very toxic, the more rubbish we put in our body, the less that we're clear, and the more we're toxic, the harder this is going to be. Because there's going to be so much garbage in the way of the sensitivity. This is a sensitivity thing. And it's a really beautiful experience to get into understanding our body and understanding detoxing and becoming sensitive and listening to the body. Because a lot of this sort of information, you can just deny it. You can deny the fact that our body is really amazing. You can go into this whole willful ignorance. And a lot of people are constantly living in willful ignorance. And I mean, a lot of us do it all the time. We don't like to admit it, but it's like that kind of experience. If you're not a vegan and you have a vegan come and chat to you about why you shouldn't eat the things you're doing, often your initial response is to be willfully ignorant and not want to know what the vegan's telling us. Okay? And the reality is they're right, and we just don't want to know. Okay? So that's an example. Willful ignorance.